Hello, and welcome to Hyrax Facts, brought to you by Wusk Incorporated or something, I don't know. Today I bring not only this delicious and nutritious hamster for you all to share and consume, I also bring these things. These wonderful little beans known as the Hyraxes. They have a bunch of different names. There's a few different species as well. Some common names for them are rock badgers, rock rabbits, connies, dassies, and we'll mostly be talking about the rock Hyraxes today. It is my favorite flavor of Hyrax, but they also come in bush Hyrax, which is very similar, and tree Hyrax, which is actually quite different. The difference between them is mostly centered around how they speak. They're very vocal creatures, and they have kind of a different dialect, apparently. Tree Hyrax also live in trees and have much smaller families. And, yeah. So this little bean is one of the elephant's closest relatives. He's got weird little toes like an elephant, and he has no tail. And he has little tusks sometimes. They usually grow their tusks when they're a little older. They start out as just a little bean boy bean. And they're very strange mammals because, similar to reptiles, they like to sunbathe. They have a lot of difficulty regulating their body temperature. So what they like to do is they like to hang out on top of rocks in the warm daylight hours and soak up lots of sun that they use to keep warm during the night. And as I mentioned, Hyrax are very vocal. They sing and they communicate with each other. It's wonderful to hear. It's very strange, kind of like a car starting up, except the car's battery is dead. Definitely very normal thing for a bean to do. And I also touched on the differences. Like the bush Hyrax, they're a little smaller than the rock ones. They have little smaller families, but they're very similar. And the tree Hyrax, which is a lot longer and narrower, it actually looks like a different species. And it also has a very distinct call, and they have much smaller families because they live in trees. What else? There's a very strange little fact about the Hyrax. They're mentioned in the Bible a lot. I'm not exactly sure why, but they're described as gregarious and exceedingly wise, and they're not suitable for eating. Apparently, since they move their mouths in a weird fashion, it was assumed that they chew their own cud, which I don't actually understand what that means. I'm sure I could Google it. I think it means that they regurgitate their food and chew it a second time. And the Bible doesn't like when you do that. Makes you not good food. But they don't do that. They just like to chew because they have weird teeth. And yeah, they do have a multi-chambered tummy. And another real weird thing about their tummy and gross stuff is they have bathrooms. Since they can have very large families, especially the rock Hyraxes, of up to like 30 of these little beans, even more sometimes, they all just poop in a corner and make a big pile of poop. And apparently biologists love that. It's very exciting for them because it fossilizes, which is a strange thing, but biologists are strange creatures. They also take about 6 months to come out of their moms, so they're very slow. But when they come out of their mom, they can just immediately start walking and running and jumping. They're fully developed as soon as they come out, which is weird. But pretty much everything about them's pretty weird. Like the fact that they'll occasionally eat a bird or a lizard. They're definitely not predators. They don't have anything to be predators. But if they get a bird, they'll eat it. It's free real estate. And, yeah, there's another real weird thing about them. Since the rock hyraxes tend to live in high rocky altitudes where they don't have a lot of threats to them, they do have one main threat. Since they love to sunbathe, eagles will come down and they'll give them a good nibble. And eagles' favorite thing to do is come right down along with the sun. So you look up and you see the sun and you're like, ah yes, the sun hurts my eyes. And you don't see the eagle coming because he's hiding in that sun. But the Hyrax has a weird thing. His weird looking eyes have sunglasses in them. That's not true at all, but they can kind of see differently. So when the eagle's coming, they look up at the sun and they go, hey, that's an eagle. And they all leave. Ideally. I mean, you don't win all the time. But yeah, this is a nice little introduction to one of my favorite Bean Boy beans, the Hyraxes. They are found mostly in Africa and the Middle East. They live up to 12 years, which is a long time for a bean. And they weigh 4 kilograms to 5 kilograms, or 8 to 11 pounds. And they can just get real fat, being about 30 to 50 centimeters, or 11 to 20 inches. They're not quite as friendly as the Capybara, which is traditionally friend-shaped. Hyraxes are mostly kind of grumpy hermits who live on their rocks and shout at people and tell them to get off their land. But they're also not very dangerous. Other than screaming, they don't have a lot to back up their aggression. And as I said, they're not predators. They just try to intimidate people to get off their lawn. It's good. It's good. It's good to keep people off your lawn. Otherwise, they'll steal your eggs. People are always stealing eggs. It's a terrible problem. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention their stackability. Look at these pictures. I have found nothing in these fact sheets that mention how stackable Hyraxes are. But if you look them up, you'll find so many images of them stacking. They just do it. They see their mom and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna get on top of her back and I'm just gonna lay down and she's gonna carry me around. That's her job now. I am the passenger and she is the train. Which is good. It's good to stack, both vertically and horizontally. Everyone enjoys a good stack. Let's see, what else do we have? let's see. I think that might be all I have for now. They aren't strictly speaking endangered, but they are getting to that point where they're starting to be threatened by humanity. They're a fairly common animal throughout, as I said, Africa and Middle East. People do hunt them occasionally for food or fur, but yeah, they're very good. They're a very good being, and I hope this encourages you all to go investigate and look into Hyraxes. There are many, many strange creatures out there. From the weird long doggo, to the bean boy bean, to the friend-shaped bean. There are many, many strange creatures. And some of them are perfect. Like this one. Alright. Well, that's all I have. So, goodbye. Don't forget to eat your hamsters on the way out. They're complimentary. Oh, and you can have this for free. It's worthless. I'm not a legal professor. In fact, if you show this to anyone, you might go to jail, because there's warrants out for Professor Wuskatoni's arrest. Anyway, goodbye.